of doing in Eastern Missouri, particularly around student support. So first, I just thought I'd share with like who we are at Big Brothers Big Sisters, because it seems sometimes people question like, oh, that doesn't sound like the work of Big Brothers Big Sisters that you do collective impact work. But our purpose is really to partner with young people in their pursuit of a meaningful, stable, and independent life, and we do that through a couple ways. We serve youth from 5 to 25, and we serve them in urban, suburban, and rural markets. So we serve all of Eastern Missouri, which is a wide landscape, that allows us to reach over 10,000 youth in partnership with parents, volunteers, school districts, and community partners. So of course, we do that through mentoring, but we also do that through some innovation work. So that's my role at the agency. I'm the Chief Partnership Officer, and where I've grounded a lot of the work that I've been able to really steer the agency in over the last about 20 years working at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So today, though, we'll focus on ABC Today because that is the innovation work. Back in 2005, our board really challenged us to think about how we were making a measurable impact on the young people that we were working with, specifically in education. And so through a great partnership with one of our more rural school districts, we, through the course of a long conversation, arrived at ABC Today, which the early warning indicator back the old ABCs were really attendance, behavior, and course performance. So we began collecting that information on all of the young people that we serve directly through mentoring. And then were approached by the school district in 2015 about expanding that work to really be more of a collective impact model as well. So we are actually now in 17 schools over 3 different districts all over Eastern Missouri and continuing to grow that work. But the essence of ABC really is convening this group of people who are already aligned to support the school itself. Each of the networks are designed by the school and the needs of the school. And we have some essential seats that we've essentially asked each school to have. So school leadership is essential in this model, as well as having mentoring partnerships, parent buy-in, and then, of course, faith-based and business partners. And then Big Brothers Big Sisters serves as the convener of all of those external partners with the work. We also have found that partnering with post-secondary institutions and other social service partners are really instrumental in this work as well and helps to move it along. So what this looks like throughout the school year is that this network of people meet 4 times. We really meet at the beginning of the year to set some strategies and priorities. And then we meet each quarter afterward, looking at the ABCs, looking at the attendance, looking at the behavior, and looking at math and reading for all of that school. We focus first on celebrating the great things happening within the school. And maybe that is a more school-wide celebration, or it could even be individual recognitions of students, and ask partners to lean in ways that they can celebrate the school and the students themselves. And then we work with the schools to develop strategies on how we can better impact student performance, really with an emphasis on attendance and positive school culture. It's really, really important for us that there's constant engagement and communication with school partners to really continue to support the schools in the very way that they need to be supported. So I think pictures sometimes tell a lot of the story. So here's some examples of different ways that community partnerships have shown up in the work over the course of time in ABC Today schools, and has seemed to be a real great opportunity for people to show up and for people to also provide lots of ideas on how they can better support schools and students. The advancement of our work has really been over the last about year and a half, though. So the ABC Today networks still are really in action in all of those 17 schools. But in the spring of 2022, we actually approached the school district in trying to support this idea of ensuring that we understand what students are connected within their buildings. And so along with the school district, we created a survey option for students to answer really 3 questions. And the first question would be whether or not they themselves are connected to an adult in their building, and if so, who that adult was. And then for them to be asked if they were involved in activities at school, and then again, if they were, to kind of identify what activities those were, and then if they knew how to access resources at school. The first year that we did this was sort of baseline data. We weren't really sure what the responses were going to be and how that would look and what strategies we needed to do. So we used that really for what it was, baseline data, to then come back to the last school year in 23-24 for a full year. So the first thing we did is identify that we had to celebrate where there were relationships, and ensuring that the adults in the building knew that they were connected or identified as a connection for that young person. And then school staff and ABC Today and school partners really strategized how we were going to continue to support building connections between individual students in their buildings. There was lots of ways in which that was happening, but if they were involved in activities, then really leveraging those adults in the building to be the person that could support a better connection. And then last school year, we did a pre and post. So we had the fall of 2023, and then we did the survey again in the spring of 2024. One of the things that sort of changed how Big Brothers Big Sisters showed up is that we were then able to identify with the school's priorities in connecting kids with mentorship. So we were providing additional mentoring services from our traditional one-to-one volunteer who were matched to one young person. We established group mentoring where we actually have staff who are embedded in schools and are now supporting young people through a group mentoring model that's been in development for some time. And then we're providing targeted supports for students. So we actually have staff members who we're hiring to go into the schools that are not participating in a group mentoring or a one-to-one mentoring relationship, but they just need some extra support, and their families need some navigation and direct aid to be able to better support their academic journey at school. The last slide I'll show you is just a little bit of some of our results. The number of students that we were surveying in the school district, we started with middle school. So it's a fifth through 12th graders were surveyed. So you'll see there are about 2,370 kids in the fall of 2023. Of that number, 1,970 of them were actually surveyed and completed the survey, which is a great response rate. We were thrilled with that. And then you'll also see the number of responses in the spring of 2024 compared to the enrollment. What we found is that it looked like our first actions really worked. So we went from a 74% connection rate to a 79% connection rate in the spring. But most of all, the thing we were most proud of are the students who said no in the fall and yes in the spring, that they were not connected in the fall and connected through the spring. And through the real strategies of ABC Today and the collective partners, we were able to see a 14% increase between the 3 schools that we work with. So really exciting stuff for us as we continue through the new ABCs, and really proud of the partnership and the leadership with Pathways to Adult Success to push us to think differently about how we're doing our work.
Thank you. That's very exciting to see that. And I have a follow-up question I'm going to put in the chat to elicit even more detail, because I'm very interested in that. But it's nice to see that you increase the number of kids with adult connections over the year, right? And so that, I'm sure that was encouraging to people that were doing the work. They saw that they themselves had agency, right, to help change that dynamic.